Honorable Minister,
Yeah, right.
where were you 12 years ago?
I was a young man. Unfortunately, I didn't have a personal relationship with Prof. But Randy, when I went to the university, I was in the business school, University of Ghana, and there are two lecturers whose names are easily recognizable when you go on campus. One is Mr. Sedu Kwanti. That's how we call him. He was a quantitative analysis lecturer.
Everybody's headache.
Yes. Even you. And the next name you hear of is Prof. Mills. I was taught by Prof. Atubuga, company law.
Yes.
And during our lectures, if you are struggling, he tells you that during his time, they were taught by Prof. Mills. He was teaching tax law. And if Prof. Mills teaches you tax law according to him, and they say teaches you quantitative analysis, and you don't get it, then you have a problem. I mean, in terms of academics on campus, I mean, I'm sure no one can doubt Prof's knowledge about tax and his experience as a lecturer. And he was a teacher himself. He was a great teacher. And I didn't get the experience of having him taught me. But what I heard about his teaching skills was quite interesting. And of course, when he went to the GRA or IRS or something, he distinguished himself. At 27, I'm told he was a PhD holder. Yes. And Randy, how many people rise to that level at that age? Even now, when I finished university, I was almost 22, 23. Even if you do your masters, you'll be 26, 27. So for someone to have gone ahead to read his PhD and at 27, that indeed was remarkable. Ankwesi talked about his strength. I didn't listen to the lecture. I just saw some sound bites, but I didn't listen to the full lecture. I think one of his weaknesses was his health. Obviously, when he came into mainstream politics, Prof was a lecturer in school. Chairman Rawlings brought him on board. He became a vice president, and then suddenly he was thrown into the public domain, mainstream politics. So even if you listen to him speak, he was not the very usual politician. I only saw him angry once when he went to the airport after the Anas video. And for the first time, I could see him ranting and raving and very angry at the videos he had seen. And he made a very significant point during that interaction that he was hoping that the security services who were stationed at the port would rather be the ones to have given him that kind of report. But it took an external person to give him that report. And he said he was prepared to even take them all off and bring new set of people if he has to do so. I mean, that tells you the kind of love that he had for the country. And as I said, his weakness was his health. It was very clear at the tail end of his presidency that his health had taken a heavy toll on him. And he could not obviously function as usual, as it's supposed to be. So I remember I called when I heard the news. I was in the car, and then I was coming to 37 from Abelempe, and then I heard the news that breaking news, and everything started, because this is the first time we're having a certain president. So for us young politicians, we're wondering what this whole process will mean, the transition. What happens? You don't have to create a vacuum. So it was refreshing that Parliament was immediately recalled, all members of Parliament came back. And that also demonstrated the beauty of our democracy, how within the space of 6-7 hours, a new president was sworn in, no vacuum and all that. So he remembered for some good things that he did. I mean, clearly, the university hospital, that he started. The last time I visited a colleague who was ill. A very beautiful edifice. Thankfully, successive governments have continued, and we have that beautiful edifice. So, rest well, Prof.
It's not just beautiful.
No.
It's far more than beautiful.
Oh, I said I've been there. It's a beautiful, beautiful infrastructure. And I'm saying that successive governments have ensured.
Actually, they started doing kidney transplant in that.
It's fantastic.
You know.
It's fantastic. I'm saying successive government have ensured that the vision that he had has come to fruition. And so I'm happy about that. And I want to thank him for his service to Ghana, service to the university, academia. He's human, and so obviously you have some flaws. And I'm sure those who know him well can articulate that better. But for me, as a layman, I saw him as a very quiet, very refreshing within the political space, not the combative type, And I mean, he took all of us, especially those of us in the MPP, by surprise. We were extremely confident that we were going to win the 2008 election. And I remember he had this house to house that some of our people at the time were poo-pooing. And then quietly, he was moving house to house, and he took us by surprise, and he won the election. And we wish him safe in the bosom of the Lord wherever he is. And his wife is still around.
Yes.
The wife is still around. On this day, I'm sure there will be a lot of remembrance at home. And I recall when I saw on television his casket moving from 37 to Spintex, his house, then to Parliament, the State House for the burial. He's done a lot for Ghana, right? And he's done his part. He's done his best. If not for anything at all, he ushered in the NDC back into power, and we thank him for his service to Ghana.
All right. Okay, so on the note that you ended, of course, our commiserations to Mrs. Atta Mills. Most of the time when you're married to such great persons, you get lost out. People tend to forget you a bit. So our commiserations to her. And, she should continue to stay strong. And of course, his son Kofi as well.
Yeah, I've seen his son really in the campaign.
Yes. There's actually a photograph of Kimathi, Kofi, and Sharaf Mahama.
Yes.
So, like, sons of three presidents, all doing some work for the NDC in the elections.